Supermodels, Manuel and Bianca Buitendag, Hawaii versus South Africa. Absolutely stellar individuals, phenomenal ambassadors for this sport and for anything they do. Just love these ladies. Out of Victoria Bay, South Africa, the Western Cape, the 21-year-old, number 4 in the world rankings. And who would have guessed, after you saw her result on the Gold Coast, charging so hard. Here's what happened when we were away. Manuel posted a 6.5.
Wow, that is really, you would have watched Lakey Peterson's performance. She opened up with that 6-point ride, and that's really what stayed in her scoreline. Gave her the confidence to hold on to that lead the whole way as we watch Manuel doing work on this wave. Looking so on point. We mentioned that surfboard yesterday. It still looks so good under her feet.
And how about Bianca? Now, what can Bianca do here? She is just low-key. She charges. She makes things happen. Let's take a look what she's going to happen here. A lot of wind now picking up, and she is not afraid to jump on any wave, give it an assessment, and then pull out. She pulls the plug real quick. With first priority, Manuel, and with Manuel comes that first wave of a 6.50, and I believe Bianca's going to get something like a 0.50. That's not going to help her out in the long run. Coming up next, Courtney Conlog and Dimity Stoyle. As we take a look at Malia, second wave, wasting no time at all and finding more open face and putting it on rail. It's just amazing how some surfers just read this so easy in the lineup, and she is one of them. Manuel goes for the throat, and that wave takes her down. Pretty heavy section, but giving it her all. And please explain that that last move was not completed, but the turns prior to that will be scored.
Exactly. I mean, just going down on that critical maneuver, that is a big kind of question mark in the judges' minds, but you see Malia staying so busy. She's already locked in that 6.5. She's looking so fluid on this wave. You can just tell that as soon as she pushes pressure on her front foot, that board is ready to accelerate, and there she tries to accelerate through that washing section. Unfortunately goes down, but that really would have set her up as a second scoring ride. Unfortunately, that last turn won't count, which is kind of a bit of a bummer because it was going to be a good one.
You know what I sensed on that wave just a bit, and it's usually not these kind of conditions, but I sense sometimes Sunset Beach, Hawaii has a little bit of section that might not be standing up and that inside bowl not be throwing around, but Tressel's very consistent, not a lot of lefts, but a lot of nice rights, and you definitely heard the conditions, you heard exactly who you're up against. This is more against surviving and surfing with the ocean, doing your best with the ocean. Backhand move for Bianca. This is her second wave. And now she's looking for a reform. Bianca Buitendag, just coming on strong. Her last couple events has done no worse than a semifinal, which is really amazing.
Yeah, she's been so consistent, Bianca Buitendag, making 3 finals this year, 3 seconds. 1 in Brazil, 1 in Fiji, 1 at Trestles. Watch her on her backhand. You'd have to say her backhand is one of her strengths, being growing up on a right-hand point break back home in South Africa called Victoria Bay.
So one thing about Bianca you should know, that with her great results from Rio on, at the end of the year they're going to throw away 2 events of the 10.
If you can make it to the inside and do a couple turns in there, that was sort of the strategy, and now I think it's even going more to that reform inside bits, like looking really fun. So that was sort of the plan, but it was really hard, honestly. I mean, at the end of the day, he was kind of like, look, if you can do a turn, go, or a couple turns on it, just take it if it looks like there's opportunity. So no, it's been real fun, just keeping busy and enjoying our time here.
I heard Mike saying that he's keeping it fun for her, and obviously it's working and paying off. Lakey Peterson moving on.
Thank you very much, Chelsea and Lakey. Yeah, pretty happy about this as we take a look at Bianca, wave number 3. She needs a 6.83 to get back into the hunt, and digs the rail and goes down, but gets a couple of turns in. Real key moment where she's talking about run some heats, and when you go out practice, you don't go out practicing for 2 hours. You kind of go out there and practice for 30 minutes. See what you can do in 30 minutes, correct?
Yeah,
that's how you run heats. Exactly that term. Tell us about it.
You take your energy and you point it in a direction that's kind of going to give you a productive result, as we see Bianca getting very productive on this wave. Unfortunately, this move, you just see the fin kind of hitting a chop. Her board spins out underneath her, so not the end result Bianca wanted on that wave. So
refresh my memory, who won the, did Lakey win yesterday in when they were running heats and Mike had to buy dinner?
I bet you it got super competitive. I think the way that Lakey is surfing should give anyone a run for her money.
Yeah. Here we go, Malia Manuel, wave number 3, your heat leader in and out. She will lose priority, and is there going to be a paddle battle, and does it really factor in today in terms of getting the lineup? The lineup's so big, and you're it's you against the ocean more than you against your competitor.
The ladies will be meeting the boys down in France.
So coming up France, and then the final event will be on the island of Maui. And you can take a look, be sure and follow that stop, the Roxy Pro. Flip a coin, get over it.
Exactly. I mean, there's two different sides, two different opinions there as we see a rider up.
As we see Malia Manuel, wave number 4, trying to better a 3.83. And again, dealing with this inside section, the tide continues to fill in. A big high tide of over 11 feet today. And this inside looking clean. Couple of nice turns. Malia Manuel has precise rail work, and not only she has great peripheral vision, she's looking like she's reading every bit of warble and jump and bump on that wave. No mistakes, and we could hear people on the beach clapping.
Well, I think the point of difference for Malia is the way that she's adapting to those lines, and the way that, you know, even though the water's rushing at her, she's able to float over that sections on that surfboard, as we see Bianca Buitendag her answer.
Bianca has a real big section right there. She handles it no problem. And there's her exit. And she's probably a bit frustrated, except her third wave does come through with a couple of nice turns as a 6.17. She's trying to better a 3.50. It's a fairly close heat. Well, let's see if this wave right here is going to separate her.
Well, here we go. The speed, power, flow, the commitment on that maneuver, and then that foam climb. Bringing this through the inside, you can see the connection to the maneuvers is so seamless. I love the way that she never gets caught. You don't see those rails going underneath the water. She's always smooth, slicey surfing and out of that wave.
I believe we're waiting on that score. Malia open up with a 6.50, has stretched out into the lead of this round 4, heat number 2, sudden death competition. And let's see if Bianca can fight back. She does have first priority, but at this point, she's needing something in the 8-point range. What's interesting, though, is the battle for the yellow jersey. We'll get back to that later. Here's Bianca now. I believe this is her 5th wave, and now she's finding some lefts out there where she has been sitting. A lot of the ladies have been finding the rights, and this is a foamy, bumpy, crazy-looking wave, and she's out. Her 4th wave comes in at 3.33, still sitting with a 3.5, her 2nd wave, and a 6.17, trying to chase down an 8-point ride because Malia Manuel has been posting some pretty good numbers. Her last wave, her best score, a 7.67, and it doesn't look like it's going to help her very much. They throw out the high and low scores. It's a 3.83. Her 2nd highest score, she still needs an 8.0. So if you're in 2nd, and if you don't improve on your high score or the score the computer says, thank you, Strider. Take a look from the beach right there. Is that
Matthias?
That's Matthias right there, and possibly giving her some direction and saying move south as our surfer in blue, Bianca, then goes north. The Goofy Footers found a nice wave. Beautiful turn. This is what we expect out of her. And another hit. She's looking for an 8.0. Oh boy, she is so far down the beach. She's at the middle section of the rocks, and the locals say they just call it the middle rocks, but very close and very far down the beach. Open ocean for Malia Manuel. What do you think? A couple of nice turns.
I like that wave from Bianca Buitendag. A bigger wave with more opportunity, 3 good turns, finished it off strong. You could tell when she jumped off that wave that she was stoked with it. I think the judges can read that body language. Will it be an 8-point ride? I mean, that's one of the higher waves we've seen all day. Let's just have a look at the way that she read this wave. Coming around that section with a lot of speed. You see that carving move. She gets a little bit hung up, and then this one, a lot more power and aggression going into that turn. Eyes off that last section and really putting that little bit of emphasis on that last move. I think the judges could really take this and consider it a really great ride from Bianca Buitendag. She still has 4 minutes on the clock, so a lot of time to get back to the outside and maybe consolidate that score.
Well, a totally different wave. Beautifully surfed, but a different wave. And, well, what do you think?
This is the highest wave of the heat so far. The judges are definitely going to take this into consideration to set the scale for when they put a number to Bianca's wave. See that one move on the outside. You can see the flowy surfing of Malia Manuel. Just so much power coming into play. The snaps that she puts on every little section of this wave. So beautiful wave from Malia. The judges going to have a look at that and then, you know, replay that to set the scale to see what's going to happen with Bianca's score.
Well, there she goes. A couple of judges in the 9s, an 8.83. She takes the lead by 0.83, and that's how you do it. Should see Courtney Conlog in red. Round 4, heat 3, going to come up shortly. We've got 40 seconds remaining. Now or never for Malia if she senses she's not in the lead. Take a look at this beautiful right. Really drawn out bottom turn. Nice smooth top turn back into a section. A little more punch here. And then it backs off a bit in deeper water. This inside should drain quite nicely for her. Beautiful wall ahead. This is going to be an amazing wave off the top. Is there one more section? Wow. It's smooth.
That was a great answer back from Malia. She sees that there's not too much time. An important exchange.
7.67 was her last wave ridden. Malia looking for a 7.34. So I guess you could say they could look at Bianca's 8.33, but you're going to have to say, is that wave right there better than her 7.67? If it is just a bit, she could take the win.
This is definitely going to, you know, the judges are going to deliberate over that one. I think they are going to have a look at the 8.83 from Bianca Buitendag just to compare. As we look at the replay, you see Malia taking off on a frothy face, but so much power behind that. Like we mentioned, she's just so adept to maneuvering through those tricky sections. More fluid surfing from her. That's an aggressive maneuver there from her, which I like. And then that finish on this wave.
It doesn't stand up like that left where it's a little more vertical and you can really crack the whip a little bit. Real tricky. And here's the 8.83. Take a look. Okay, that's fine, but now it really stands up.
Yeah, this is the maneuver from Bianca where she really gets the lead on the rail and gets aggression in, and that third turn. So
Malia Manuel, she had a 7.67. She gets a 7.87. She wins by 0.54, and that's what it says right there. Unbelievable.